And now I'd like to talk about how to build strong, sexy abs and get rid of belly fat. Everybody at one time in their life, in one shape or form, if they want to be honest with themselves, has wanted a sexy, toned midsection. I'm going to talk about 3 things that are very important if you want to accomplish that, and you can. First of all, why do we want to do that? Second is that there is no spot reducing, and third is how and when to work abs and how often. So those are the 3 areas that we want to talk about. First of all, why? Why do we want a strong, sexy midsection, ripped abs? Well, I think there's several reasons why, but the 3 I want to talk about today that I think are very important is that when we put on our clothes and the clothes hang on us and they fit well and we look down and we like our stomach and our ab section, we look and we feel good. And I believe looking and feel good, if we don't get too vain about it, is very important about putting out a positive energy so that we can go out into the world, and when we feel good, there's more of a chance that what we want will actually come to us. So looking and feeling good is very, very important as long as we're humble about it and we're not too vain about it. Second reason why it's important to have a strong, sexy midsection is that it makes our back more stable and more pain-free. If any of you have ever had issues with your back, you know instantly that it can stop you in your tracks in a heartbeat. And when we strengthen up our abdominal wall, above and beyond the aesthetics of just looking good, it really is the base of our midsection. And it holds our guts in, and it's like an internal corset that gives more pressure to our spine, our vertebrae, and disc that goes right down the middle of our insides. And that stronger midsection, when you tighten up that internal corset with a strong abdominal wall, there's less of a chance of those vertebrae and there's discs slipping out of place, and so you can have a safer, stronger back. There's no doubt about that. And the third reason is that when you build a strong abdominal wall, you build functional, usable muscle that you can work and you can play and you can have fun with. And aging gracefully into our 60s, 70s, and 80s, and even well into our 100s, one of the reasons why people are having such a challenge with that is because they can't move. So when you work your abdominal wall and you have functional muscle that you can use as you're aging, you can move and exercise and burn more calories and maintain the muscle mass that you have. So that's a third very important reason, aging gracefully. Now the second area I want to talk about, what we mentioned earlier, is spot reducing. Our lack of common sense and our initial gut thought is that if we want to be happier with our midsection, that we want to do abdominal exercises to work on this area. If we're not happy with this area, a very, very small part is doing abdominal exercises. A much bigger part of getting happy with this midsection is bringing your overall body fat level down. You see, when you do that through food, through exercise, resistance training, and cardio, and better lifestyle choices, you lose body fat all over your body, not in just this area. You can't do sit-ups till you're blue in the face here. You're not going to lower your body fat at all. Most people already have a really nice abdominal wall. It's just covered up by a layer of fat and they can't see it. So in order to make that happen, a little bit about the food. You need to eat unprocessed foods versus processed foods. If you follow Dr. Mercola, which I'm sure you have, you've already heard that. If it's made in a plant, stay away. If it comes from a plant, eat it. If it rots, it's good for you. Above and beyond that, it's not just eating good foods, though. It's also about eating small meals often throughout the day. You just can't eat 2 meals a day of great foods. You have to eat smaller and more often throughout the day in order for your body to boost its own metabolism, the BMR, and burn its own body fat off. The second area is exercise. You've got to build up muscle in your thighs, your back, your arms, and other body parts with resistance exercises. When you do that, your body burns more calories 24 hours a day because muscle demands energy to sit there and survive. So you burn more calories while you're sleeping. That's a great way to burn your body fat level down by building more muscle in all those major muscle groups. Interval cardio, short bursts of intense activity, 2 or 3 times a week done first thing in the morning is a great approach to getting your overall body fat level down. And if you really want to focus on our program, you can eat differently on that day. You can separate your interval cardio and your resistance training, and you eat lower amounts of starchy carbs on an interval cardio day, and you eat more starchy carbs on resistance training day when you need it for the energy for the workout and recovery from the workout. Starchy carbs are oatmeals, brown rices, wild rices, yams, sweet potatoes, white potatoes, whole wheat pastas, typically carbs that we think we should stay away from. So it's really nice on our plan to bring your overall body fat level down that you get to eat carbs. Third area in bringing your overall body fat level down is lifestyle choices. Sleeping, getting to bed early, waking up early. Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. There's a lot of truth to that. Resting and recovering is very, very important because if you're working out, we know you got the stresses of your everyday life. You're just compounding, you're tearing your body down. So you got to get your rest. 7 to 8 hours of good sleep in the 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock range is best. 4 a.m. is best at recovery. And the second area of lifestyle choices is being balanced, not abusing, preferably not using at all alcohol and tobacco, not abusing caffeine, diet pills, ephedrine, those types of energy drinks. Those type of supplements are a very short-term fix on bringing lowering your body fat level down, and it's not going to get you where you want to go long-term. So bringing your overall body fat level down is absolutely about food, exercise, and lifestyle choices. The third area, if you want to build your strong abs and get them sexy and get rid of belly fat, is you need to work your abdominal muscles. Now, two very important things that most people slip by on is you have to work the abs in a minimum range of motion. The old sit-up that you used to do in PE class just doesn't work, and you got to go slower. You got to really go slow, 3-second positive, you got to squeeze it, you got to feel it, and a 3-second negative. So a smaller range of motion, slower repetition speed is a fantastic way to start to really feel stimulation in the abdominals. Now, if you work the abs effectively, by following some of our ab exercises that we have on our site, and you get them sore the next day. Common sense says you need to rest and recover and get them recovered before you hit them again. So therefore, you only should hit your abdominal muscles 2 or 3 times a week. If you're exercising your abs every day and they're not getting sore, then you need to analyze the ab techniques that you're using. You got to slow it down. You got to use a variety of techniques. Traditionally, slow crunch type movements works your upper abs. Slow leg raise, knee raise movements works your lower abs, and twisting and punching and side bridges works your interior and exterior obliques and your serratus muscles that tie your back into your chest up in here. So you gotta take a step back, and you gotta realize that you only need to work your abdominal muscles 2 or 3 times a week. They're just like other skeletal muscles. They're slightly different because they have to fire all day long to help stabilize you and stand up tall. So they're slightly different than skeletal muscles, but they're still very similar. And because they have to fire all day long, you got to make sure you get in a wide variety of different movements. And for that, you can go to our site. Right now we have 6 different abdominal movements in there. We're going to plan on having 10 to 15. Should absolutely be plenty of variety for you to change it up and stimulate those abs 2 or 3 times a week. So in retrospect, the why, the no spot reducing, bring your overall body fat level down, and how to work abs and how often. That's our summary. We absolutely have seen many people in their 40s, 50s, and 60s go through our 12-week program here in our facility here in Chicago, bringing down 5, 6 inches off the waistline in a nice, slow, balanced approach. And the nice thing about the balanced fat loss lifestyle program is that that's doable long term. No stimulants, no caffeine, no fat burners. You don't need that stuff. And there's your reason to go build that strong, sexy midsection, and you can do it here at Mercola.com.